is Felix. This is Simon. We're from Digitized, a Berlin-based company. And what we do is we take well-known board game licenses and we turn them into games. Our company exists since the end of last year, and in that time, thanks to our good connections to the German board game industries, we've created 2 games. The first one, Le Havre, the inland port, came out at the end of last year and won 3rd place in the Unity Windows Dev Contest, and also was nominated for the Golden Geek for the best board game app of the year. Patchwork, our second game, came this year in February and was very well received by the press. Many online presses, like, for example, The Guardian or CNET, called us one of the best games at the beginning of 2016. We were also featured in the App Store as one of the best new games, and both games have been very well received by the community. We have a very vibrant community on both games. The ranked listings in both games are very thought about every day. We have around 2,000 new games being created every day. And we create new games in about 3 months rhythms, and we already have our year planned out. And we managed to do this speed thanks to an engine we've built ourselves called DDNet. DDNet is a board game engine which the front end is based on Unity, and for the back end we use Windows Azure and Windows Orleans, Microsoft Orleans. And this tech enables us to have cross-platform multiplayer for all our games and cross-game social capabilities. So people playing one game can chat to people playing the other game, and they can invite each other to play with each other. And we are at the moment on the Android store, the iOS store, and the Windows store, and we're looking forward to add consoles to the mix. Why we're here today is we would very much like to build a stronger partnership with Microsoft. We already use your technology for all our production and development, and going out on all Windows platforms has been part of our deployment model since the start. What we have as a problem at the moment is a bit of visibility on the Windows Store. So Android and iOS are working very well for us, but we are practically invisible on the Windows Store, and we're hoping that working together we could improve that. On our side, what we can say is we bring high quality games in a pretty fast manner to the market, and we bring our own fans. Since those are all licenses which are already being played by players, we bring our own fans with us, and I think both parties could benefit from this partnership. And before we go over to questions, we would like to show you the trailer for our second game, Patchwork, so you can have an idea of what we do. Okay.
And you have that available for Windows Phone, but it looks like you got a PC and mobile edition, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And I see it's $2.99 to purchase the game.
Exactly.
In the store today, and then there's some in-app purchase after that.
Well, for the in-app depends on the game. So all our games are premium. The first game was going out for $5. This one is going out for €3. And for Patchwork, since it fit the whole theme, we have a lot of graphics in-apps you can buy, so you can change the look of the game. But for our next game, for example, the board game itself already has expansions, and those expansions will be the in-apps for the app itself.
Can you play against people on other platforms?
Sorry?
Can you play against people on other platforms?
Yes, it's cross-platform multiplayer.
Player no, they're playing against people on other platforms?
No, no. Basically, we use the native login mechanism of the different platforms. So we do use the Play Store to log in on Android, and we use the Game Center to log in on iOS. And we're trying to use the Xbox services to log in, but that hasn't quite worked yet. And when you play against another player, you don't see a difference.
Okay.
And what's the typical age of a player? I mean, who do you target? What's the age range or demographic for the game?
That depends on the game. So we get very little information from the board game developers. Yeah. Basically, when they gave us patchwork, what they said is, well, this is our games for girls. When we took a look at it, it turned out that that wasn't true. But we kept the graphic style of the base board game, so we're a bit limited by that. But it turns out that it's very broad. So we have kids playing, we have adults playing, and we have around 50-50 men and women playing.
You said you have console plans.
Yes.
What are they?
Well, we would like to go on the Xbox with this, as well as the PlayStation, and depending on how our talks go with Nintendo there as well. So add as many platforms as possible, because as soon as we build in controller support, which is one of our next steps, it all depends on who wants to work with us, basically.
Cool. And are there any particular markets that resonate pretty strong for this title, or is it?
We basically 60% of our income comes from the US.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's also because most of our marketing efforts were there, and we have a surprising amount of sales in Japan, for example, even though we didn't translate the game in Japanese and we had no efforts whatsoever there, but somehow it resonates. So localizing and doing a bit more marketing effort there is also part of our strategy.
Okay, sometimes we have my microphone. Sometimes we have sales, like 10-cent sales on games and things like that. Would you be interested in being part of one of those if we did a discounted price? Or you want to stick to the €3? Like it'd be for a limited time, right? So it'd be a week of,
Yeah, that's something we would have to consider, but we're definitely open to that.
Okay.
And in terms of the board game genre in general, do you see more traction on phone, or is it on tablet specifically, or?
Usually people buy it for both. So they have both their devices, and they use them both. The only market where we can actually track the difference for us at the moment is the iOS store, and there it's basically the same on both markets.
Okay, cool.
Anything else from anybody? Any questions for us, or?
Actually, no. It's mostly how could we improve our visibility on the Windows Store? Is there like a process we can go to get featured? Maybe. This is what we're interested in at the moment.
Well, I would put out there is, one thing we're looking at is, give this opportunity for you guys to kind of pitch to us, and we see what games are out there, and we'll turn around and kind of take these back to our merchandising team and look at where we can do some promos, or we might reach back to you to see if we can put it like in a sales promotion. Mm-hmm. Those actually drive quite a bit of traction to get some momentum going.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we'll do. I would put out there also is consider we're starting to get a little bit more user acquisition tools in place, like Facebook install ads and Bungle video ads and things like that. Mm-hmm. Take advantage of those if you have much experience with that. Mm-hmm. Some of the publishers are actually seeing some good results from that. So.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can help you with that as well, right? So if you have any questions or whatever, I mean, you've got my email. You can pop back to that.
Yeah.
We can do something there.
And where are you based?
Berlin.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, well, thank you for your time.
So, I'm here to present a game of coins. It was my first attempt in a casual D&D game, which was constrained heavily by a very specific design, which is a game I played with my father when I was young. So, it's a physics game. It's very similar. You're American, so it's very similar to pool. You're European, so it's very similar to billiard. And the twist is that it has power-ups. It has an epic narrative, and it combines like the Eastern philosophy of energy and soul, basically. So that thing never dies. And our story takes us to a faraway kingdom where a bunch of soldiers who preserve good and peace fight off against an evil advisor who turns them into lifeless coins. And they still fight. That's the point. The point is about never giving up. They have like bodies made of clay, and they move solely on their mental willpower and the desire to take their kingdom back. So, a bit about the gameplay. It's basically you select, okay, screenshots will really help here to explain. Yeah, so this is the pre-match. Let's go like that. Okay, this is the pre-game screen. Like you select your army. You have the trade-off between smaller coins or larger ones, and each of them is basically has the same physical properties, but mass really plays a role in that. Imagine having a pool where some balls have different sizes, stuff like that. Yep. There's obviously an enemy team. On the bottom right, you see the power button. The controls are very simple. I basically built it around my sister and my mom. So it's supposed to be accessible by people who have never touched the game before. That was my main concern. And introduce them to the fantasy world, basically. So you aim, left or right. You fire, bottom right. And you see the outcome. It's turn-based strategy. And you have like this energy that accumulates and unlocks power-ups, which you can use. Some of them are, okay, no, the screenshot doesn't show any. I can have the video up and running, probably. Some of them are about firing farther, or about tactical control, like returning to your position, or even summoning up other coins. And it's actually, none of it is based on just arbitrary abilities. The ideograms on the coins don't just mean random Chinese words like ice cream or whatever. It's actually the elements of the world. It's earth, fire, heaven. And based on ancient Chinese philosophy, the mixes of two between these produce abilities. And these are the abilities that are in the game. The lore is not shoved down anybody's throat, it exists, so you can have a look if you're interested. I think that's really good for like kids or people who are not really into the games, as well as people who are hardcore and would love to have a lore, not something that's bare naked, so to speak. There is also local multiplayer on the same device. Unfortunately, I cannot show you because the app is not up and running on this device, but I could show you in my device if you like. All right, sure. I had some plans for multiplayer online. I actually implemented it and realized that it's much simpler and more personal to actually have it on the same device. Since it's turn-based, it didn't make much sense to proceed with the online part. I think, yeah.
The title's available for PC and for phone?
It is for Windows Phone, iOS, Android, stuff like that. But I don't see it happening for PC because the graphics are simple, and I think it would really, really look not adequate on PC. On mobile, I think I can get away with it because I also shoot for accessibility. It was developed for Android like 8 years ago, mobile phones, and iPhone 3S. So basically it runs at 60 FPS on anything.
Okay.
Obviously that's not the...
And I see it has in-app purchases.
It has a single in-app purchase, which is to unlock the full version of the game, because I don't like ads, I don't like to have timers, stuff like that, or to just sell content, extra stuff. I think it kind of breaks your immersion, that personal view, but that's why I don't have in-app purchases. The moment you install the game, no clicks are mentioned, no swipes, no nothing. The fourth wall is never broken again. The only exception is that you have to unlock the full version, so there is instead of the play button on levels that are not unlocked, there is a prompt to buy the full version. But that's the only thing, and you never hear anything about it again.
So when I see it, it's like $2.25 to buy the game and $1.99 for the in-app purchase.
Yeah, because I'm trying to juggle between all three stores to make it the same price. And yeah, right now I've already updated Android. Next on the list is Windows Phone, but I couldn't make it in time, so it's still the old pricing. And the in-app, which looks a bit weird, but that's something I'm fixing like right now. If I wasn't on the conference, it's what I'd be doing.
What does a typical player of your game look like?
Sorry?
What does a typical player of your game look like, you think?
Well, that's the funny part. I've shown this to people from 8 years old, got very positive responses. I've shown this to people over 50, very positive responses. I've even shown this to hardcore gamers, and because of the D&D narrative and the lore, they engaged. They gave me the feedback that they prefer a game with a soul instead of let's say, the typical mobile game. Like most of them are, you know, the state of the market right now. Most of them go for repetitive gameplay with in-app purchases which improve your character in some ways, and then you go again play more levels, and it's basically endless. Many of them, even the successful ones, and the ones that are really, really good at what they do, they don't even have the need for a story.
How long is the average play session, you think, in your game?
From analytics, from Unity, I get about 20 minutes, sort of. The full duration of the campaign for an experienced player would be 35 minutes, for an average player 45, maximum an hour. It's, the storyline is short and simple. And the replayability value comes from the play button for multiplayer hot seat. So you can just fire it up and play with your friend. There is also character development. So as you gather, like in every level, you don't get rewarded only for, you know, by unlocking the next level. You also get rewarded by gaining points, which you can consume to get improvements. And these coins are hard to come by, they cannot be purchased, so you do have to kind of spend them carefully. I try to convey some of the stuff I like about RPGs in a really casual game.
So, you know, when we have opportunities to merchandise games, there's many different like surfaces we have, like the store itself, there's like promotional channels, there's, you know, top performing or top, you know, rated kind of things. We also have like MSN and some other places we can put different games up there. Question for you is, you know, with the pricing that's there now, could we do like, you know, we have kind of promos where we might do like a half off sale or something like that? Would you be interested in doing something like that potentially?
I don't see why not. Yeah, I'd have to see the specifics, but it sounds good, yeah.
And usually those get good traction, because, you know, it might be a half price, so we can put it up in kind of a sale channel, get some people in there, get the game, and then, you know, it'll revert back to its normal price, you know, beyond there.
That'd be awesome. I think that sounds good. Again, I'd like to see the details, but as a concept, it sounds really nice.
Okay, great. Yeah, so basically, you know, thanks for showing the game. You know,
we made it out the box.
For justice.
Awesome. So these guys are playing it over on the phone.
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
But you'll get back in the next week or so, kind of come up with, you know, what we're
Absolutely.
used for. And then you have my email, so you're free to, you know, if you want to ask me questions and stuff.
You said I have your email, yeah?
I sent you the time and everything for here, so that was kind of my own email.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm waiting to hear back from you within the week, I guess. All right,
Yeah.
perfect. That's awesome.
Thanks a lot.
So, as I said, I'm also an indie developer, and I'm here as one, but at my day job, I'm a lead developer and a producer, so I have some possibilities. This is not my first indie game I made. 2 years ago, I've released Snope, Brave Furies, also on Windows platform, and it was pretty warm welcomed. I think right now we have 70,000 downloads on Windows platform. So it's pretty exciting for me, but I was able to figure out a gap on the game market, I think, because in my day job we're making match-free games as well. So I have a lot of possibilities to interview users, and most of these users are women, women over 30. That play a lot of match-free games, and they love the games. They play it on their couch, at home. They love the graphics, they love the music, and that's all fine. But what they are saying, well, they were saying to me that they would also like to play puzzle games in more busy situations. For example, they are looking for their child as it's playing on the playfield or somewhere. Or riding a bus, so their attention span is much less, and they cannot concentrate that much on playing the game, but still they would like to do it. This was a need that I wanted to fill with the game I made. So there are some assumptions to this game that I made. For example, one of them was 0 attention span, so you can make one move just to see your child playing, go back and instantly know where you are. It's not, for example, possible on match-free games because you need to remember the whole board and what you are planning to do next, stuff like that. The board is much smaller. It's definitely only for mobile devices. It can be operated with one hand, on your thumb only. So this is created to fulfill the need of playing puzzle games in the situations where you cannot concentrate that much, but you still love puzzle games. Also, what I think I did good is you can go with the flow here. So there are very short play sessions, much shorter than match-free. Of course, you can play one game for 10 minutes, but it's more common for players to play 1 minute or even less. And if you start collecting the puffs, you're just, well, it's fun. Maybe I'll present its tutorial here, so not a very exciting level, but you just tap a group of puffs, and they are collected. That's it. You got 10 points. If you collect more than 5 puffs, there is a rainbow puff spawned. It multiplies the amount of puffs that you will collect, so the tutorial says. So right now I get 44 points, but I collected only 11 puffs. For the basic functionality, you only have to collect enough puffs to get 1 star or 3 if you're a great player. And you have moves, so game will end when you run out of moves. That's it. That's the concept of the game, and everything else is based on this concept. Of course, there are more complicated levels later. There is ice to be destroyed. There are some stones that obstacle the puff's way, stuff like that. But the basic concept is just to tap and collect, tap and collect. Oh, sorry, tap and collect. Do a big group of puffs. Hopefully multiply it very much with the multiplayers, and collect, tap and collect.
And I see there's an in-app purchase.
Yeah, it's a free game, but
what do you get with those purchases?
Okay, well, it's not unlocked here yet because it's a tutorial, and the in-app purchase mechanism is unlocked after 10th level, I think. Okay. I have it unlocked on my phone, so I can show it to you personally. Because the game is deeper than just tap and collect, if you want it to be, because this is fine to play it like that, and it's, I must say, very, very fun, especially for me. Okay, but there is more complexity to the game. The game has online contests, so you can challenge other players on the leaderboards, but a contest has a duration. Most contests are 1 day, the bigger ones are 3 days. And if you participate in a contest, you get a reward. If you place high enough, for example, the first place here gets 50 snow globes. Snow globes are something like power-ups for the game, so you can win them in the contests, and then you later use it on levels. There is also a mechanism of 1 free snow globe per level all the time, so even if you don't play the contest, you have like a sneak peek of how the snow globes work. And if you want to progress in the game, there are also gifts. Gifts are something that you can unlock after collecting crystals. You cannot buy the crystals. You get crystals for using snow globes in the game. So eventually you will just get all the gifts for free if you, well, because there is 1 free snow globe per game and stuff like that. And this is the second layer of the game. So a tactic layer, as I like to call it. For example, I will just launch a level here. And of course, you can just tap and collect, as I said. But you can also use a snow globe to, for example, change all the blue paths to green paths. Bam, you have green ones. Of course, if I had more green on the board, then I would collect a lot of them once. Gifts are some kind of other power-ups that you get all the time. If you unlock a gift, you get 1 gift of this type at each level. And gifts also change the board. I think I have a very simple gift that also just changes the color of the path.
What's a 5-day fun or 5-day joy?
It's a subscription, well, kind of a subscription that every day you play, you get some amount of snow globes, so for 5 days.
Okay.
And yeah, you also can buy unlimited stamina, for example, for 48 hours, because as I figure out, women hate stamina. I think it's a great mechanism because it doesn't bore you with the game, but if someone wants to remove it for 48 hours, why not? Give them a chance. So yeah, this is, well, basically I showed you the entire game without the more complex path mechanics later, so that's it. And this was my concept. This is the game that I made. Well, maybe I may also say that this game was possible thanks to Microsoft, because the Brave Furries that I made before entered the contest from Microsoft and Unity.
Yeah, this year or last year?
Last year, and they qualified for the first level only, but I got this device. I got Windows 8 activation code and 100 asset store dollars, and the entire graphics of the game, with the help of my wife that knows how to make graphics as well, was bought for this $100 on Unity Asset Store. And the music as well. I'm the musician in the team, okay. So yeah, I think this is my presentation.
Great.
Did you enter this contest in this year's Unity contest?
No, there was one?
Yeah, there was one this year too. Or there was one that, I'm sorry, it ran from November through February, so I don't know if that was the one the first game was in, or it was the previous year.
Uh-huh, okay. But, well, in February this was just a prototype, so
okay.
I wouldn't win anything with it.
Too late for it.
Yeah.
We will have another contest this year, so if you have a new game idea, or this one.
Maybe. So, yeah, the game is launched only on Windows Phone right now, just because I wanted to pitch it to you, and maybe later I will also launch it on iOS and Android, see what happens. But
any ideas for making any games that would be great for like the desktop? I mean, now that Windows 10 works phone, desktop, console, so think about these other form factors.
Actually, with this when I showed this game in my company, a lot of males wanted to play it just because of the contests. They didn't like the graphics, stuff like that. But I think that using this mechanics with more rich metagame, for example, something RPG that you're going through some land and you need to fight monsters, something like Puzzle.
Something to shoot, yeah, you gotta have something to shoot, yeah.
Well, maybe not shoot. Puzzle have you played Puzzle and Dragons, for example? Yeah, so Puzzle and Dragons kind of mechanics, you're collecting here colors and fighting with something. Using this mechanic, but expanding the metagame and, of course, making it horizontal, not portrait, would, I think, look good on PC, but to make this game, I would need more than $100 on Asset Store. So.
And has it got any social integration? Or?
Social, right now, no, only the contests,
Okay,
so the leaderboards, and maybe later I could add Facebook, but I don't know how to do it right now. So. Yeah.
Great. Well, so I mean, thanks for presenting the game. It's pretty cool. What we're going to do is we're kind of taking these games that people have pitched to us, and we're kind of like discussing it and figuring out, where's a good place to position it, in our kind of merchandising. We have lots of different surfaces we can merchandise, the store itself, other things like the start menu. We do a lot of advertising through MSN and Bing. So, what we'll do is we'll kind of take this and go back, and the next week or so I'll get back to you and look at what we can do and things like that. So.
Great. My fingers crossed. So.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
My game is called Lema. It's a co-op shoot 'em up game with a touch of bullet hell. This game I made for my bachelor exam, which I had in June this year. It started like a training project, so I get more used to like multiplayer gaming and like more simplified graphics. As part of the project, I developed or I mainly focused on UI and updating like the Unity default UI for my needs. Just a simple overview. It's the main menu with some options, with some explanations for the controls.
Does the name Limach, what does that mean?
Oh, yeah, it's from the Gaelic word lamhach, and it's called shooting, or in different situations of slaughter and skillful. Okay. And that was, the meaning thought about it to give the game the name what the game is all about. It's all about shooting and some skill. Okay. Here you can see or can imagine how it would look like with multiple players. Other players, like connected with the gamepad or me on the keyboard or mouse, could join in, select the roles, like being an attacker with heavy bullet fire, or with beams, or being a defender with shielding, or being a supporter to improve the skills of other ships, and just configure or manipulate their own figure or their own ship, so they can decide and learn what game or play style they really like about the game, for the game, and just try again new and new over and over again. I'll select 2 roles to show at least the differences that there are possibilities of the possibilities I have. Actually, yeah. It's running not that smooth as I expected it to do, but hopefully you can get the clue about it. Yes, please.
What is your character meant to be?
It's an airship. It's like a top-down shooter with some Zeppelin art-like steampunk, dieselpunk airship vehicle.
So it's a type of Zeppelin.
Please, what?
It's a type of Zeppelin.
Yes. And all figures are some kind of Zeppelins. They are matched like their role they represent. The attacker is more slimline and aerodynamic and faster. The defender is more heavier and can take more bullets. And the general idea about, or the general story about the game is just very, very simple, because I focused more on the skill that should be required to play it, and not to get the catch about the story. It's like the rebels fight against an evil bad empire, and they have to fight their way out of a prison or something like that, and come through some planet situations or landscapes to fight many enemies. The blue shine you see around the airship is the shield. it was actually the one from respawning, but the one which turns red now was the one I made myself. So like I used my ability. Yeah, and actually I can't play it that well with a mic in my hand.
That's good.
That's fine.
But yeah, I can't get past that first sector. But I might show you some video where it might present some more stuff about the level and how it develops.
And you can have 4 people on the same screen at the
Yes,
same time?
well, I previously had up to 8 people, but that's just a setup which normally no people have at their home, but 4 is...
It's not PvP, it's...
No, it's playing together.
Okay.
So it's just a cooperative game, not a comparative.
Are you using actual volumetric fog effects on your start screen?
No.
Okay. I wasn't sure if those were like realistically modeled clouds there, if it's just pixel sprites.
Yeah, it's just a sprite particles effect, and yeah, and well, besides the Windows 32 or the Win32 build, I've already worked on Android builds because there my middleware for audio just works somehow, and I strongly optimize the game to run on mobile platforms as well without changing much of my code. Changing just like the behavior of the game in general. So there I expect to be no bigger problems except from the middleware of FMAT Studio to port it to UWP. Then let me find one.
What the specs of your laptop?
This one is a ThinkPad P70.
Is it like i7?
It's an i7 with an Quattro 3000M, I think.
Okay.
So it should run faster. I think it got just hung up with the energy options.
Mm-hmm. Do you plan to do additional optimization of your code? Like graphics profiling to ensure it runs more smoothly on a wider range of hardware?
I did on my for the PC build. I started with the Android stuff to get it smaller and oh yeah, thank you. Started on the Android stuff to get it smaller and more performant and just dropping down the battery consumption. But that's some part I just need to have the time for and yeah. Continue on that.
Are there multiple resolutions you can run the game in, or is it single resolution?
On desktop there are multiple resolutions. On Android, well,
sure.
Through the lack of different devices I can test on.
What does it scale up and down to?
And actually, it just run on a 4K display. I don't know what the beamer is, but it's I think 1080. But it just scales up to 4K and down to, I think, 720 will be okay. Or that's I tested it with.
So do you have 4K assets, or are you upscaling, downscaling? Do you show
It's upscaling. It's upscaling.
Okay.
It's just I tested the look of the game. Will still remain on a higher resolution, good enough to not change the assets at all.
Okay.
Okay, I'll tune the sound a bit down. This version of the video is made a little bit with the previous version of the interface. I revamped it for better mobile use and on the feedback of my players or of previous testers. Because some buttons and some texts were just hard to read as it is here on the video. But you could see the new interface in the previous show of the game itself.
So through your website right now, are you selling the game?
No, it's
Free?
Yes, it's free. That's part of my approach to work on it as my bachelor exam project. As I learned throughout the years many things from people who share their stuff, I started to share the whole project within previous state. The last steps I made are not shared at all as a free project, but that's why I'm not prepared to sell it at this moment.
How much would you want to sell it for? If you put it in a store, would you want to sell it, or would you like do something in-app, like?
It would be nice to sell it, to earn some money from it, yeah, but actually that's not my priority, to say, yeah, I want to make hard cash of it. It's just like, oh, I want my game, I want it published, I want to have people have fun with it, and say it's a great game or it's a fun game. And if more people will say that, if it's free, so there I go.
I mean, we certainly want you guys to, make money, so it's, be a good idea to think about, charging some kind of money for the game. Maybe it's not a high value to get started, but then use things like in-app purchase to, allow purchases of maybe different weaponry or different levels or something, or shields or nuclear weapons, whatever.
Is it the
That
boss
guy's
for
pretty
level
big.
1?
Please?
Is it the boss?
Yes, that's a level boss. It appears twice on the same level, just like a consecutive development of the boss. He just uses a stronger weapon afterwards. Yes, and that's my game.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So, so one thing is I would love to stay in touch with you on the F mod to make sure, we can figure out what you need to give to UWP. So I'll drop you an email just to make sure, because there's somebody within our group that's actually doing some stuff with F mod, so we'll figure that out.
Okay.
And then, of course, when you get to the point where you can make a UWP app and get it into our store, we should talk about, ways we can maybe promote the app, whether it's through merchandising or whatever, right?
Yes.
So I'll drop you an email, and then, we can figure out the Fmod situation so we can get that first step done, which is get into UWP.
As far as I read it in the release notes, they had an update where their assemblies will build on the UWP because the linking just got stuck up when building in Unity. But I haven't tested it yet because,
And then, let us know when you're going to get, your time frame for getting that, game over to UWP, and then we can see where we go from there.
Yeah, we'd love to hear more from you as you get a little bit closer to the finish line and see how we can work together on that.
Where are you based?
Please, say what?
Whereabouts are you based?
I didn't get it.
Where is the office? Where do you live?
Oh, in Hanover in Germany.
Oh, okay, cool. Great. And what's your ultimate aim? I mean, as a game developer, do you want to work in a big studio or set up your own, or what's your goals?
My goals. Well, I said it just a minute ago. So make games who people say about it's a fun game and which they recommend perhaps, but not actually only making games to earn money. I work in a visualization company.
Okay.
And I come from a simple software developing background in business solutions, and that's some part I will I want to remain in my goals to have games which I have fun playing, which I have fun making, and making some other software which which is not that graphically and emotionally loaded.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. That's so my plan for the future
Good.
to make
good
it part.
Yeah, good luck.
Right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
So in the game you come with this little rocket to this planet, and then you progress through the world map. And the first thing you notice that there are unicorns and cages, so you probably want to free them. Oh, there's some music also, which was, I think it was buffering over the Wi-Fi a little bit later. So then you start the game. There's a little tutorial. And it starts like this. It's very easy. So you move the circle with your finger. You move it around. And the levels become harder and harder over the time. And every level is different.
And so, like, later there come bigger balls and then smaller balls, and then there's one level where you kind of play like Space Invaders with the balls. So you're like a little ball on the bottom, and you shoot them up. So now I'm on level 2, which already gets a little bit harder, just a little bit. So, and in every level you collect 3 balls. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, if I hit them, then, which I can do right after this one, then you're done. But I got my first ball. So you can come back later if you can't finish a level. So now you're on level 3. Sometimes people split up. So there's a deep, heartwarming story behind it. It's about 2 twins who split up, and it develops over the time. And whenever you free a unicorn, you unlock a part of the story. And you get a new building on your little planet on the very bottom.
What do the in-app purchases get you when you buy something there?
Oh, let me just die, and then you can see. So for your planet, you can buy little things. Oh, I think there's something wrong with the resolution here. Oh no, here they are. Wait. Sorry, I need to turn the screen again. So you can buy little things for your house. You can buy boosters.
Okay.
So that make the ball smaller. There's a unicorn boost, which transforms them into unicorns. And yeah, that's it. I mean, usually I would just give it to someone, let them play, so that if you want to.
Yeah.
If you want to try a level.
I'll play it a little bit. Yeah.
You could just try it out now if you want.
Okay. Yeah. So you kind of hopped in here. We had 2 other guys here that kind of took off to get some coffee real quick, but we're all part of the Windows marketing team.
Yeah.
Those 2 guys are actually working with game publishers and everything. I'm actually working with the middleware partners out there, so like Unity.
Yeah.
So I kind of manage that partnership, and so yeah, we're just looking to hear your guys' story about your games, and we have a kind of channel into the merchandising team that merchandises all the apps in the store, things that show up on MSN or Bing, and so a lot of it's a matter of discovery, right? So for getting these things in front of people and things like that. So basically, we wanted to have an opportunity here for you guys to come and show us the stuff. We're going to turn around. We're going to take it back to the merchandising team and kind of give them our thoughts and talk about these games and see if we can get you guys a little bit more promotion. So that's the whole idea.
That would be really nice, yeah.
Yeah, and then like I said, you've got the in-app purchase, and you mentioned Unity ads. We do have Vungle support now. We're working with the ads guys at Unity to try to get support for Windows 10, so you can have some other monetization options. So
that would be really nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you run out of life, you can watch an ad, and then you get another 5 lives.
Yeah.
So
exactly. And you can do that with Vungle, right? They basically have video reward ads. So
yeah.
So watch a video, download Crossy Road or something, and then you get another life in the game. So
it works really good.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for bringing it by.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me.
Yeah.